Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good
Doing
morning.
awesome. Great.
Awesome. Well, listen, real quickly, as always on RE Hustle, we've got Chad Hawley, my counterpart online, and then we've brought on two fantastic people I want to share with everybody today, so hopefully everybody's listening. We've got Stephen Chuilli. He is the president, owner of Lagniappe Builders here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then we've also got Marley Presswood out of Charleston, South Carolina. Fantastic agent with the Matt O'Neill team. And I just wanted to get everybody on and share some really cool insights and kind of keep it real as we keep moving forward. Real quickly, we'll start ladies first. Marley, if you will, kind of introduce yourself and let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, so my cat just jumped on the desk. Of course. My name is Marley. I work in Charleston, South Carolina. I was actually born and raised in Charleston, so this is my place. I got my license back in 2015 based off of someone telling me to get my license because I was constantly connecting people and they thought it would be a good idea. And ever since then, I've noticed that there has been a shift in real estate and have been telling the story of the market and really explaining to people the buying process instead of just treating everyone like a transaction. So that has been my mission, and that's what I've been doing. It's been great. Telling the story about the market right now, everyone wants to know, so it's awesome.
Stephen, introduce yourself, my friend.
Hey, good morning. I'm Stephen Chuilli with Lagniappe Builders. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina. Been here 21 years, but came from New Orleans, Louisiana, which is why I have a Saints Cup, because I'm still a diehard fan. And it's been a brutal couple of years for us exiting the playoffs the way we have. But so Lagniappe, which the reason I bring it up is the name of our company. It's actually a Cajun word. Most people who hear it don't know what it is. It means a little something extra or a delightful gift of some kind. And so we named our company that for two reasons. One, as sort of a call out to New Orleans and my family's heritage. And secondly, because it really is appropriate to the way we go about business. But yeah, I've been in Charlotte since 1999. I love it. I consider it home. I don't ever plan on leaving. But Marley, we do want to get down to Charleston as soon as this COVID stuff goes away because we absolutely love Charleston.
Oh my gosh. Well, all you Charlotte people love Charleston so much. I think that we're going to be open back up by Saturday. So some small businesses opened up yesterday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then we're leaving Friday morning.
They're now officially accepting people to come in their houses, or so.
That's awesome.
I know. I'm so excited.
So Marley, you said that you guys have changed over now. Instead of doing vacant homes, you guys are actually having live showings as a full essential business there.
We've been in an essential business the whole time, but for the most part, we are only seeing our actually. I am a few clients in person, and mostly it's virtual. Until I feel like I'm not going to get sick. I will continue. It's back and forth. A lot of it's virtual. And then, of course, I went into a doctor's house the other day. I'm like, this is not the smartest idea that I could have done, but.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is, but sometimes you kind of have to go with it. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, Stephen, I know you can speak to this too. For our Charlotte market, right now, we have different counties have different rules, but Mecklenburg County, which is probably our largest county, doesn't allow new actual showings, where the surrounding counties you're allowed to go in and show the homes. You can do vacant properties. But Stephen, if you don't mind speaking to it from a building perspective, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing from a builder, even though you are considered essential?
Yeah, it's actually, in some ways, the COVID situation has helped us, primarily because the amount of traffic is down. We're moving freely throughout the city. The weather's been amazing the last 30 days. So from a building perspective, that's allowed us to get a lot done. For us, normally we have a balance of remodel and new construction going on simultaneously. And right now we have a lot of new construction, which has, again, helped us. We do have a few homes that have been on the market that were vacant, so they could be shown. Where it's our homeowners, we've had a few warranty requests and a few follow-up requests. And we can't go into houses of occupied residents right now. And some of these are very minor items. But, I feel somewhat almost guilty saying it hasn't affected our business that much. It has affected our supply chain. Some of our suppliers, for example, their warehouse and yard workers have stopped coming to work out of fear of illness. And so their deliveries are down. Particularly the cabinet industry is extremely tight right now. Most of those guys import product from China, and there have been a lot of delays on product. So more than anything, the supply chain's been interrupted. Our ability to work in Charlotte has largely gone without impact. So we're very blessed in that regard.
That's awesome.
Hey, Stephen, quick follow-up question there. Have you seen any kind of, because you use a lot of subcontractors, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Have you got any kind of feedback or pushback from them as far as saying, hey, we've got to take the job that's going to pay us the most, so we're going to go work this job today and we'll get to you later on, or are you kind of the priority for them?
Well, in the last 4 years, we've really built a very close-knit team, and our guys are pretty loyal to us because we keep them busy, and we treat everyone like they're part of the family. So we haven't had to compete too much for their time. I have heard through my connections in the NAHB and the North Carolina Home Builders Association that a lot of the larger builders have paused all spec builds. So if they didn't have a buyer attached to the property already, they just paused it just so they can understand what the risk is on the demand side, on the back, coming out of COVID. So that's actually created availability in the market. I've actually had a lot of subcontractors calling me, asking me, hey, do you have work right now? But we're loyal to our current guys as well. So even if they come in and say, I can do it $1 square foot less, we don't bite the hands that feed us. So, we've kind of just maintained our team and continue to push forward, and been in the same boat as everyone else, which, some of our future products are stuff that's supposed to start later in the summer. We do have our finger kind of hovering over the pause button, waiting to see what the market's going to do.
That's cool.
Awesome.
And Marley, how's the new construction over there in Charleston? Do you see that it's still, they're building pretty strong? Is it slowed down a little bit? Do you see more sites going up?
Builders are definitely giving us more incentives to come to the new construction. This is just, new neighborhoods. Last month, 26% of our sales in Mount Pleasant were new construction. So they're definitely still moving along. Yeah. We have so much new construction over here, and honestly, it's pretty competitive with the pre-owned homes. So it's just matters what you want. If you want bigger land, if you want new construction, but new construction really hasn't stopped here. The builders are definitely not custom built, but they're just, you can definitely tell that they're kind of wary of what COVID-19 is going to be doing, just because they're just pushing us. They're giving us insane incentives to just show up. Please just show a house. But they're all appointment only. There's no walk-ins right now. So that's what's very different.
Yeah.
That's bad for them, great for us, because now they have to call us and get a new construction appointment. So
Awesome.
That's pretty good. And then I was just looking up, just in general, what our sales have been this month. In the last 21 days, I looked and see how many houses went on the market and now are under contract. And surprisingly, it's heavy, like 20 to 30 homes that were on the market this month are already under. We're definitely moving along over here.
That's awesome. And your beaches, are your beaches now open over there?
No, they're not open. They're supposed to be open, and I got so excited. I started buying all this beach stuff on Amazon. I was so excited to go to the beach. And Folly, Isle Palms, and Sullivan's all did a group announcement that they were not opening, even though they were allowed to. They just think it's a risk. I'm so mad. I know.
Well, I'm gonna pose this question to you guys, and then Marley, I'll let you jump first, ladies first here. But I'm just curious, what do you feel is the biggest mistake our industry has done during the COVID pandemic?
I feel like a lot of agents paused their lives. Like, they paused real estate in general. And I've noticed a lot of golfing and a lot of less working. I've been trying to get in contact with a few agents. And so I think putting the pause button or putting fear into people was definitely something that you shouldn't have been doing, and just pulling data. Data is going to be an opinion every single day. So that is what I have noticed through other agents, and what other agents are telling people is their opinions, and that it's a crash and you shouldn't go outside and all this stuff. So that's something that I have been dealing with mostly.
Right.
Yeah.
Chad, what do you think? What do you think you feel is the biggest mistake our industry has done during the COVID situation, from your perspective as an operations director?
Sure. You know, I can definitely, I echo Marley's sentiments there. I feel like a lot of agents that we're dealing with on the other side of transactions, and, you know, even within the office here that I can see, I feel like a lot of agents have kind of furloughed themselves. You know, I'm borrowing that line from a buddy of ours, Jimmy Burgess, a little shout out there. You know, just feel like that, like Marley said, you know, they're kind of putting their own business on pause when they don't necessarily have to. Like, yes, it's different, but you just have to adapt to different things. There's still activities that you can do. Well, I also liked you bringing up the data and kind of, you know, looking at the facts of the market. I say that because I have a master's in data analytics, so I'm kind of a data geek myself. So, so really appreciate that. But that's the biggest thing. I just think, you know, everybody's just kind of pausing themselves and taking a break, when really this isn't the time to take a break. It's a time to shift your focus to other parts of your business to make sure that it's ready to go when we're able to get back to a little bit more normalcy.
Awesome. Same to you, Steve, man. What do you think? I know you said business is kind of going smoothly in your spectrum, but what do you think is the biggest mistake that our industry has done during the COVID situation?
Yeah, you know, I look at this thing almost as a social phenomenon. I mean, there are so many lessons that are going to be taken from this, however and whenever we decide to exit this full stream and get back to normal. We've used it as an opportunity to close the gap, make up ground, if you will. I mean, I've used that personally within my family as well. I mean, my second grader is kind of struggling. He's behind on his reading level. So we're using this time to really try to get him up to level reading. And the same in the company. You know, we're using this opportunity to accelerate ourselves, prepare ourselves for what's coming in the future. With regards to mistakes, you know, I'm part of the Reopen NC movement. You know, I feel strongly that the damage that we're doing economically, I think in hindsight will far exceed the risk once it's looked at from the future. You know, when we're out in the future, we're looking back. You know, I don't want to minimize the tribulations that this virus has caused to a large portion of society. And the reason I say it's like a social phenomenon is because we will have so much data to look back at and compare and contrast this to past events, to health situations we deal with today, even whether it be influenza or Ebola or even tuberculosis worldwide. It really is a social experiment of the highest order. And I think maybe the greatest thing to come out of this is that, you know, we do need to be prepared when and if a significant deadly virus does come around the globe. I don't think this is the one, but this maybe gives us an opportunity to assess our society and our governmental structure and our economic structure, you know, in light of that potential future event. I think the first President Bush tried to do that in the mid-90s, and there just was no appetite for it. But yeah, I don't think we'll make that mistake again.
No, I absolutely agree. It certainly has exposed a lot of you know, failures on our end as a country in a whole. But yeah, absolutely, great touch. Now I'm gonna bring it back and get away from all the seriousness for a little bit real quickly. Sports fans, I know Steve, you're a big Saints fan, but Marley, let us know, what kind of a sports fan are you, girl?
Okay, y'all are gonna probably remove me off of this, but I am so happy that sports are not a thing right now. It is so great. One, boys will listen to you. Boys have so much free time. They're not like men, sorry. And also, everyone's gonna hate me, but I like it. Like, I did miss parties and my life of sports, but can you imagine how great our open houses will be this fall if?
Well, now we're taking a little bit far.
I'm like, man, because I have open houses at 9 a.m. Can y'all hear me? It says my internet's unstable.
Yeah, you're blanking a little bit here and there, but but we can still catch you and understand where you're going from. But when it's cutting you out at the right moments. When you said something about football, it's like blink. Your computer even knows.
I don't understand it. There's so many rules with football. There's so many rules. I'm like, I'm like, what's that flag? They're like, oh, he like touched him. I'm like, yeah, he was gonna tackle him. He's like, oh, he grabbed his like helmet. And I'm like, where's all the rules? Can I like read the rules? It's like this is not really. There's just like rules everywhere.
Okay, so
so
there
guys,
are other sports though, because I think, in trying to figure out, but what about surfing? That's a sport.
Are you talking about the surfing photos you probably saw on Instagram?
Yes.
Those were fake. Like, someone's like, hey, get on the surfboard so I can take a photo of you. I'm like, okay. I did learn to surf in Hawaii. I was really good. I paid $80 to learn how to surf. I played lacrosse in high school.
That's a sport?
I was not. It was not considered a. It was considered a club, so they had to let me onto the team. Yeah, I'm good at kickball, but that's about it, guys.
Nice.
I'm not athletic at all. I fall off bicycles. Like, it's not.
Well, I think we're sports fans. Chad and I are Redskins fans. So anything and everything you just said about NFL is very applicable to our team because we have no idea what we're doing as a professional team. But Steve's a big fan of the Saints, man. What do you feel is going to happen here in the draft? What are your hopes coming up?
Man, I don't know. I feel like, our window has, the last 3 years was our window, and now we maybe get one more year. We seem to be tragically blessed. I mean, it's been my life as a Saints fan since I was 4 years old. We did win one Super Bowl in this run with Drew Brees. It was now 12 years ago. So, I mean, at this point, my heart's been smashed so many times in the last 3 years that I'm almost hesitant to get excited. So, I don't know. I think we got one more run at it. Who knows? In the draft,
Steve,
I don't know what we're going to do.
Hey, Steve, did you see the news about Gronkowski yesterday?
I did, yeah.
What do you think of that? What do you think about him coming out of retirement to go to the Bucs?
Well, let me put my own personal perspective on this, okay? So I came out of retirement this year to go play flag football with my son in a league, and I hadn't played in 4 years. And let me tell you, 4 years off from a sport, you're not the same athlete you were when you hung it up. So I don't really expect much from Gronkowski. I don't think he'll last past week 6, or they'll use him in a very limited role. So
not to mention, Gronkowski's not your normal athlete. He's a party animal. I mean, he's at clubs, hanging out with 50 different women every night. I mean, that dude he's just a monster.
Oh, he's gonna go nuts in Ybor City down in Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this smells a lot like what the Redskins tried to do 20 years ago when they signed every free agent in the market, and they were supposed to be the best team ever, and then they went I think 7-9 or 6-10 or something. So
that's every year.
I don't think it works. I don't think you can sign all these old free agents. The Saints used to do that years ago. We used to pick up everybody after their prime and sell tickets, and then it'd be a big dud.
Yeah.
Well, real quickly, now that we're all in the same kind of situation, since Marley also said her beaches are closed, what's everybody doing for fitness? What are you doing to stay in shape without having the traditional being able to get to the gym? I know for me, it's been a nightmare. I mean, I started COVID Fitness, which is helping all of my, friends and clients and just doing their yard work for free labor. That was my way of dealing with it. Is there anything unique that you guys are doing? I think we saw a crazy post of yours, Marley, where you're doing a handstand and talking on your computer at the same time. But is there anything you guys are doing that it's a little bit different to stay, in the physical realm?
Who wants to go first? Am I going to go first again?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You're always first. Ladies first.
Those handstands were fun. They were fun the first few weeks of being stuck in my house. But I bought a Peloton right when I heard that our gyms were going to shut down. I ordered one. Every single day almost. I'm very bored of it, but at least has kept me from gaining too much weight. But that's it. I have 15-pound dumbbells that I text my brother asking if he had any weights that he would possibly give me. So some bicep curls and riding my Peloton.
Nice.
What about you?
Nice.
What are you doing? Mowing lawns?
Yeah, so for me, what I did is I threw it out there for fitness just to help, neighbors and clients. Or I did Arthur's yard, Steve. I just picked up. I would go and grab a pallet of mulch for everybody. They pay for it, but and then I just do their yard for them. So I just took it out to the old school days of trying to stay young some way. But what
That's
I
awesome.
figured out is that yard work on a daily basis, there are so many different functional muscles that you don't realize you use. And so I had to dial that back because I was taking everybody. Yeah, I'll help this. I'll do that. I'll dig that ditch. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I can barely walk at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, this is not good. I would put 6 or 7 hours of labor in thinking that I was doing great for my health. But really what I was doing is tearing up this 50-year-old body of mine. But anyways, what are you doing, Steve? What are you doing out there for fitness?
Man, I've got, 2 of my kids are 17 and 14, and my daughter's a lacrosse player, and she's very excited for when the summer leagues are going to start back up. And my son's going into high school, and he's kind of just come into his own. I mean, he's grown 6 inches in the last year. So they're both like all about working out all the time. So they're getting me out there. There's a little common area on the lakefront, not even a half a mile from our house. So we jog down there. We do all these plyometric stuff, and they're pushing me. And I'm like, man, my kids are big into fitness. I got to keep up with them. So we've been doing that kind of stuff. And then I've got a double in bag, a boxing bag, which is like the 10-inch bag on the double bands.
Right.
And I'll turn on music and just hit that thing for a while. And it's a great workout. Heart rate, cardio, and helping you keep some definition in the upper body. So just a mix of stuff. I retired from yard work years ago. I do the other stuff.
That's funny. Well, real quickly, what's the biggest positive, that you have seen in your personal life due to this whole weird pandemic? Start with you, Marley.
Most positive thing, everyone wants to talk to me about the market. It is great. I can cold call a whole neighborhood. They're like, oh yeah, like what's happening in my neighborhood? I'm like, oh, now you want to know. Like you don't want to know. I have really been sharpening the knife on my strengths. Sometimes I have to focus on my weaknesses, and I have really just been full force going after, like, filming myself talking about the market, calling as many people as I can to talk about it, and really got in touch with my sphere of influence. So I think that everything that you're supposed to do, you're finally getting to get really good at it. That's good. Yeah. And I mean, I know the market better than I knew the market 6 months ago. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. What you got, man? What's the biggest positive that's pulled into you so far?
I think we've talked about this a little bit on previous, but it really is just, and it kind of ties in again with what Marley said. Obviously, same industry kind of makes sense. Just that we've been able to really work on our systems a little bit more. And the biggest thing I think for us is implementing things that we've talked about for years about doing, such as video podcast. We've talked about this for 2.5 years about doing stuff like this. It's also helped us.
No, in your positive in your personal life. I don't care about business. What's going on with
business? Business is my personal life.
I know. When you're in real estate, do you have a personal life?
I was gonna say, I'm talking to you at like 8, 9 o'clock every night. We're we're together all day, and then we're talking on the phone about business all day. So that is my personal life. I got.
I'm like, no, I don't see many of my friends.
I get to spend a little more time with my daughter since she's home from school and not working because she got furloughed from her restaurant job, although they just called her to let her know that they're planning on reopening soon. So I mean that's about it.
What do you got, Steve?
Man, the time with the kids at home has been huge because kids aren't great at time management, and one of the big positives was kind of helping them see what the real world's like when you're outside of a school environment, right? When you don't have a specific obligation, you have to create deadlines, and you have to create a sense of urgency. And so really not only in the house, but also in my business is looking at myself as a leader, as a dad, and, helping my guys see the vision and just the results that come from that. I've seen a lot of growth both in the company and in my family, and just watching my junior in high school kind of say, wow, this is what life is like after college. Like, so yeah, you got to get yourself up. You got to set your own deadlines. You got to determine what your priorities are. And that part's been cool. So I think just the change in schedule and the change in the eco structure of life has provided a lot of perspective.
That's cool, man. Good points.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, yeah, we were able to, unfortunately, my wife has never really had a date night that's normal. So now we do every Wednesday's date night, where she comes up with the plan, and it's all internal. We don't go anywhere, right? So
Yeah.
we just get dressed up, and then we do movie night afterwards, and
That's
we make
awesome.
dinner for each other. So we do that every Wednesday night. We just plan that out specifically for ourselves. And then for my kids, man, we've done some really cool projects, building a fort and things of that, where we've got extra time to be able to do that, and buy all these toys. So they're getting spoiled like crazy just to keep them busy in the house. So we, our 4-wheelers and remote control cars, all that craziness. But and then taking our boat out a lot. It's been nice because the traffic's not so much on the lake. So we can just cruise around the lake and have a good time, not have to worry about, these other boats flying by the kids. So that's, for me, is the biggest positive for sure. Now, the whole point of the RE hustle, if you don't mind, is I like to talk about screw ups in our past, things that have happened somewhere, to keep it real, something that a life lesson that you can remember and relate to and be able to share with us, that's turned into some way or form that's built up your business. Go ahead, Marley, what do you got?
Well, guys, I'm 29 years old. I feel like there's always fuck ups constantly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Last year, I was very obsessed with my weaknesses, and I wasn't focusing on any of my strengths. I just wanted to get better at what I was bad at. And I realized that was really, I hit a huge pause on my business, I think, because of doing that. I'm like, no, you really suck at that. Stop doing that. So I think that really just learning who I am as a real estate agent was one of my biggest trial and errors in my life. Just trying to figure out what I was good at, how I could be different than other people. But you'll have so much more life ahead of me. That's honestly the only thing that I've been really struggling with, in keeping my personal life at a pause when I'm working. I feel like men are a lot better at that. If there's something going on in my personal life, it really affects my whole world. So learning how to control my emotions was
cool.
Fun. Yeah.
That's a good, honest share. I appreciate that. Steve, what do you got, man? What's something, a screw up, whether it be recent or a long time ago, that's kind of made you who you are today in your personal life or even in your professional life?
Yeah, I'll give you a specific. So mid-teen years, I got in a little bit of legal trouble. I got involved in some unscrupulous activity. And long story short, myself, a few friends, and I, we got caught. And my grandfather bailed us out, in a sense of, he paid the bill. And he said, listen, I'm going to pay this bill, but you're going to pay me back $125 a month until you've paid this in full. So my senior year of high school, 3 nights a week, I went from school to the gas station, and I worked from 3:30 till midnight at $4.15 an hour for 7 months until I paid my grandfather back. And, I didn't get to play some sports that year. I didn't get to do a lot of things, but it taught me so many lessons about integrity, about living up to your word. And, at that point, it came down to, I didn't want to disappoint my grandfather, and I think that journey, getting a little bit of a peek over the fence of what happens when you cross the law was enough to say, I never want to go down that path again.
Right.
But just the way a lot of sides, now as a man more advanced in years with my own kids, I see it more from my grandfather's perspective, which is still teaching me lessons on grace and on acceptance, and the fact that everybody screws up all the time. And so, that was sort of a hallmark moment in my upbringing. And it definitely knocked me on the right path and taught me a lot of lessons that I still use today. And it gives me a lot of perspective to share with my kids. I mean, I won't tell them exactly what I did wrong in the past, but my daughter will say, have you ever been arrested? I say, I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Pause to the next. Well, listen, guys, in closing, I want to make sure that if people are interested, one with Lagniappe Builders, to be able to get in touch with you, Stephen, and your product. I know you've got some great products out there. We're sharing some products with you, and I know you've got them with some other firms. So if you can just give a big snippet out there of what you got, and then Marley with the Matt O'Neill team over there in Charleston, if you can just share with us either a web page or something, or an Instagram tag, so people can follow you if they're looking, because a lot of folks here in Charlotte that have property in Charleston. I've represented clients in the past that do that, and we've got lots of friends and family that have beach property over there as well. So if you will, Marley, just share with us the easiest way for people to get in touch with you or to be able to look you up to follow you.
So you know that actually 30% of our second homes are Charlotte residents.
I did not know that.
Wow.
Love this place. I'm a millennial, so the easiest place to get me is my Instagram. It's at Things Marley Does. But you can also email me, Presswood, PRESSWOOD at mattoneilteam.com. And those are two great places to get me.
Awesome. Steve, man, what do you got for us? What projects you got going out you want to share about real quick and snip out there?
Yeah, we're in a unique situation. Everything that's under construction is under contract right now. So really, we're planning out our next year. I know, it's kind of crazy. We're looking at a really exciting project in East Charlotte, which is an emerging area. It's not booked yet, but we're a long way down the road. And, we're assessing that. We have some really cool custom work that we're doing as well. But, you can check us out on Instagram at Lagniappe Builders, www.lagniappebuilders.com, on Facebook as well. We have a great social media coordinator who tries to share some of our flavor and our particular touches out, and she does a great job. And we're implementing more video as well to try to kind of let people see who we are. We're a small company. We're community oriented. And at the end of the day, every company is made up of the few individuals that are right behind the brand. And that really defines their experience. So we want people to know us a little bit better, a little more personally. But as far as future projects go, stay tuned, follow us, and you'll see some cool stuff coming out shortly.
Awesome, man. Is that pool ready to go, man? Because it looks like it's ready to go.
It's been ready. The hot tub's been active all winter, but right now it's a little chilly. We got I'm waiting for some warm days before I warm it up, because taking it from 61 to 80 is not cheap.
Well, listen, I appreciate both of you guys, Marley and Stephen, and also Chad, for jumping on with us and sharing some experiences. I think it's fantastic. I wish you guys the best. Stay healthy, stay strong. I look forward to talking to both of you guys in the near future. But thanks again, and we're going to sign you guys off. You guys have a great weekend coming up.
Thank you.
Great
Bye,
seeing you
guys. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.